Okay, so in the parlance of Jeremy Clarkson, there's a lot of cars with flappy paddle gearboxes out there these days. There's more automatic cars. Are we looking at a period now where we've got people, the people of today, who will maybe not be as comfortable with a manual gearbox in 10, 15 years' time as they are at the moment?
Yeah.
For me, it's down to what you're driving. If it's a basic sports car, then it absolutely has to be a manual gearbox. If it's more complicated or a heavy performance coupe, something like that.
That's interesting, because the review of the new Alpha Giulia is, I'm going back to Alpha.
We're back on Alphas.
Back to Alpha. But it's the automatic gearbox is better than the manual. This is the general feeling.
Yeah.
Are we going to get to a stage where in America, we're an American company, and there's guys in the States who go, oh my god, it's got a stick shift, and it's like, wow, it's got a stick shift, and you can choose whether you do a automatic driving test or a stick shift one.
That's right.
And it's we're going to get like that.
I think what's interesting about the whole flappy paddle, I mean, it's a derogatory term, isn't it? I hate that term. Because in actual fact, some of these gearboxes are awesome. The DCT boxes. Yeah. I was at a Merc I think it's a 43 AMG. Yeah. I think it's an 8-speed box, and this thing shifts like that. It's incredible. It sounds awesome. It blips the throttle for you. It sounds amazing. Okay, it's not quite as fun but I tell you what, when you're on a charge, they're amazing.
But for the classic car enthusiast, it is working in harmony with your car. It's letting the oil get hot in your Countach before you give it the beans. But it's part of the appeal, knowing the idiosyncrasies with your car.
It is, isn't it? It's just about feeling it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the same. I think that's one of the things that you just get from a classic that you don't really get from any normal car. If that whatever it is, you get that feeling of attachment to the road, which is mechanical, and there is a link. Whereas you get so isolated from all of that these days in some cars.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, in 20 years' time, what are the newcomers to the classic car market going to want? Are they going to want to drive an MGB equivalent, or are they going to want to drive a Merc A45 AMG, which is going to have a paddle shift anyway?
Yeah. I say that what is a classic car enthusiast? It's someone who's not. He's a car guy, and he will appreciate the latest modern stuff. But the whole point is that you're going back in time to appreciate the old driving experience.
It's like somebody liking a band and then going back through the back catalogue. So you might buy a modern Merc or something which has got a paddle shift,
awesome.
But actually then you go, there's a beautiful SL or something like that just flicks your switch, and then as you get a bit older, then you go backwards. I mean, I've done the same with Porsche.
I'm going to disagree with you here, because I think in 30 years' time, the cars that they're going to want to drive are all going to be paddle shift anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, you go and try and buy a paddle shift, a manual Aventador.
Yeah.
They're not going to know what manual
who's going to be able to buy an Aventador?
And that's a 30-year-old car, so they're going to go, let's drive something old. Let's go and drive it, and it'll be flappy paddles.
But there's a lot of people around now who are driving Prewar cars which don't even have the pedals in the right place, and they love them. Why are they going through all of that hassle to do that? Because they're awesome cars. And they've got no link to them. They were not alive when those things
were doing it because they were brought, those pre-war Bentleys and stuff, people do it because they were brought up with them. And their dads, went out there and just put their bottle out.
Example because they're worth so much money. But, Austin 7s and all of those. We've got one in the office, at Austin 7, and, they're cracking little cars. And they're not worth a massive amount of money. And, pre-war cars, it's a growing area of the market. Surely that's the equivalent, isn't it? Isn't that the equivalent of, in 20 years' time, they'll look back at manual gear shift cars and think, it's worth the effort to be able to drive one.
Okay, so what is a 60-year-old car in 30 years' time? We're looking at stuff from the late 80s, early 90s, aren't we?
Yes.
Is my maths right there?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so we're still going to be in...
you've
found out.
You've embarrassed us.
I work for a finance company. So I do maths.
Anyway, in the future, at some point, we will look back at past cars.
And we'll look at those, but in 40 years' time, 50 years' time, those manual shifts are going to be gone, aren't they?
No, not at all.
Well, who's building manual shift sports cars?
Oh, I see what you mean. So, but what, the cars of today?
Yeah.
No, but what I'm saying is you'll still want to buy some of the cool cars. Do you think?
Well, I might.
Yeah.
But if I'm still around, I think all
this
will.
Current crop of fantastic cars won't be around, won't be classic, because they are so electronic and complicated build structure. That they'll just be recycled. People will always hark back to the 80s and older for classic motoring.
Oh, that's a really interesting theory.
I think we've reached a time where the latest stuff is so, as I keep saying, sealed black boxes and amazing materials that have been constructed that construct the car. They're awesome drivers' cars and so exciting, but will they ever be classic? I don't think they will. When things are electronic and governed by electronics is quite a fragile thing.
But they were in the 80s.
Yeah, they were.
You can't run old computer software.
I think you left the Ender's nice sandwich board outside on
yeah, and I'm proud of it.
You're trying to push up the value of your
the classic era
old school.
is 50s through to 80s. That's the classic era.
I disagree.
Damn this newfangled technology. Damn this electricity. How dare it?
Well, I'm only going on our customer base.
But that's now, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I just think that our customer base is changing. We had the guy with the Porsche 944 Turbo at the last valuation arena we had, who's 22 years old.
Yeah.
And he loved that thing.
Yeah, that's
absolutely
great car.
Brilliant.
Last of the
and
classic
he didn't
era.
buy a GT3, didn't buy anything modern.
No.
He went back to mid-80s and bought that. And there is that new generation coming in. And I think it's going to be the same. People who are into cars put themselves out, whether they're building them, driving them, restoring them, whatever it might be. And I think that I think the market will shift, and we'll look after the cars that we love. And
I agree with you.